All right, there we go.
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum wa
alaikum.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What's going on, Akhi?
Man, what's happening, Akhi? You are super low, man.
I'm super low.
Yeah, you real low.
You can't hear me at all.
I can hear you, but it's like real low.
You probably on your phone too, because I'm on my phone. It's low on mine too.
Hold
Let me
on,
see if I do it like this.
I'm on my phone. Let me see something. All right. Assalamu alaikum. Wait a minute, hold up.
Can you hear me?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear
Walaikum
me?
salam.
Can you hear me, Shake?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Yeah, you a little bit louder now.
Alhamdulillah.
All right, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. What's going on, Akhi? I said that, I wanted us to I didn't want us to shoot from the hip, man. So I wanted us to really talk about, you know, uh, what's going on. One of the problematic things, in the city, and that's what I seen on my post, right? As you see, I put up a post, right? Speaking about, you know, uh, what students I take, who I don't take from, and then the question popped up. There's like, well, who do you take from then, right? And I started naming some of the scholars, and what kind of threw me off, is that the people don't know the scholars, but they are familiar with these students over the real Salaf, the Salaf Salihin. So it's like, where do you think this problem came from, and how did it stem?
Uh, Subhanallah. One thing that I think this problem stems from is that they put a lot of people they put scholars or certain scholars in the box of their own. As though there's only 5 or 10 scholars throughout the world when there's hundreds of thousands of scholars throughout the world. Like when we was talking earlier today, and the brother had mentioned about Sheikh Abdullah al Habashi Ahbash, that what I'm saying, what was being said about what he was supposedly what he wrote in the book, is that what I was mentioning, that if that what he was supposed to be in that book was true, then the other scholars from Habasha, from Ethiopia, would warn against him, right? You know what I'm saying? I know this because I was there. I sat with a number of scholars over there. If he had said something like that erroneous in any of his books, they would have warned against him. Not only the scholars from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, from Ahbash, but also from the Dawah and Tabligh um ulama that's there. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Hajar Umar, which is like the Mufti of Ethiopia, he would have had warned against them as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's and it's tons of scholars over there. You know what I'm saying? In Ethiopia. So that's the issue. That's where that stemmed from, and it also stemmed from that people don't acknowledge or recognize the scholars that we have in America. I'm not talking about students of knowledge. I'm talking about scholars of the likes of Hafid Amin al-Kalwadi, Muhammad Amin al-Kalwadi, um, Dr. Omar Farouk Abdullah, uh, Imam Zaid Shakir. These people are scholars. So they dedicated and sacrificed years and years of study You know what I'm saying? Many of them they already had established communities before they went and studied. Imam Zayd Shakir, his community was well known for social change. You know what I'm saying? He was like one of the first 10 African American students to go study in Damascus in the early 90s.
Mm.
You know what I mean? He pretty much set the bar for a lot of the students that came from here. You know what I'm saying? One of my teachers went and studied in Syria in '95. I mean, took like 14 families from our Jamaat in '99 to Syria. You know what
Wow.
I mean, to study in Jamia Damascus, Abi Nur, and other universities over there. That's the problem. Like when I first moved to Philly in 2016, the end of 2016, 2017, I'm buying me some merch in one of the stores, you know what I'm saying, the wholesale. I meet a brother, he talking about, yeah, he's saying that I was from Illinois. You know, I still have my Illinois plates on my vehicle. And he was like, you know, so what made you, you know, so you moved to Philly? I'm like, alhamdulillah, yeah, I live here now. He was like, man, it's a benefit being among the students of knowledge. I said, huh? I said, I'm a student of knowledge. And that's the problem. I mean, you
Right.
have these students of knowledge. They done dedicate now. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? The time and the time and the years that they sacrifice to go study. You know what I'm saying? How are they are only students of knowledge? We had master's degrees, doctor's degrees. They know how to do research. You know what I mean? A doctor's degree and a master's degree only prove that you know how to do research and that you know something. You know what I mean it doesn't mean that you are a alim, a mufti, a molana, anything like that. It shows that you have dedicated some time and effort and sacrifice into acquire knowledge.
Right.
You mean
And the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said,
sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
"Talabul ilmi faridun ala kulli Muslim." Right.
Nah,
He said seeking knowledge is obligatory for every Muslim. So a person who seek knowledge, what does he say? Talabul ilm. It's a person, a student of knowledge. So people who make these sacrifices and trying to learn is a student themselves as well. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put people on certain statuses, but it doesn't take away from a person if he put in 3 years, 4 years, 1 year of seeking ilm of the religion, not a student. But the thing is though is that they're praising these people like they are scholars themselves, but you know that they're only people who learned a few books, probably front to back, and just going over what they learned, just conveying a message. So it's like, how are we praising people who is doing what anybody else can do? You can do it. Joe Blow can do it as well. They learn something, they convey it. And for us not to know the scholars, we only know the students, such as if you said of a book of Riyadh al-Salihin and they don't know this book, but they know, give me a book that one of their students wrote besides their scholars, right? Or if you only know Fawzan over Imam Tahawi, it's problematic. It's a problem. It's an extreme problem. You know, if you don't know, if you know if you know Uthaymin over Imam Malik, then it's a problem. It's a problem. Because this is who they supposedly took their religion from as well. And if they only know these peoples, then how can you say you take it from the Salaf? No,
hey,
you from a student.
you had mentioned on that post Ibn Qudayma,
Oh no, I
right?
didn't mention this. The sister said Ibn
Ibn
Qudada or
Qudayma
something like
was
that. That's we're not clacking her, but she didn't even know how to say Ibn Qudama. She didn't
yeah,
because
you
he
know,
said that he's an
said
Ash'ari and don't
he
even know he's not even
Hanbali.
Ash'ari.
He's Hanbali. He's not
He's
actually.
Hanbali. So it's like you don't even know and you're arrogant. And it's bad. You know, I might joke and be a little bit harsh, But sometimes our black people, our people need to hear that. We need to be harsh with each other like we used to be. Bro, what you doing, man? You acting all stupid out here, man. Go do this. And we should listen to that. Now it's like, everything is so soft, and this what's this culture called that they're doing right now? The cancel culture. You got to be extra soft. For they cancel you out, won't listen to you, won't talk to you.
Hey, it's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. Cancel you out, don't listen to you, don't talk to you. That's fine. At the same time, dedicate your time and energy to learn the deen and implement meaning, which means practice the commands that are legislated and conveyed and related from Allah and His Messenger. That's the whole purpose of seeking knowledge, so that you can implement the commands of Allah Ta'ala and His Messenger. That's the purpose. You know what I mean? That's the purpose of seeking knowledge. You know,
Right.
it's a lot of us, we learn and learn and learn. If we memorize anything, on top of that, you can't implement anything without a teacher to show you the way step by step.
But
You know what I'm
but
saying? Not just conveying and explaining, but step by step. This, you know what I'm saying? This is how you do this. This is how you do that. This is how you do this. You know what I'm saying? I've set in. Now, look at it like this here. You have students of knowledge that have studied for 15, 20 years. They've set in on marriage counseling with their teachers. And then when they're faced with dilemmas to where they need counseling, they draw a blank. They forgot everything that they done learned from their teachers in regards to how to deal with certain issues, because they forgot how to deal with their own issues. So
uh,
how much benefit did they benefit from the teacher? Not much at all.
uh,
Not much at all. That's why I always say we have to internalize the deen. Put this stuff. You start practicing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Put it into practice.
but we can say a lot of people practice, right? But is what are what are they practicing, right? Because some people practice, the art of overgarment covering, or thobe measurements, right? That's their deen, right? Okay, do I have the matching gloves, the matching niqab, and does it drag this much, or is my thobe ankle high to the shin and to this? But their akhlaq and the adab is like tremendously bad. So what are they practicing? Is this a deen that you're only practicing what is the zahir, right? What is the apparent, or are you practicing what is the inner reality of our religion? And that's the heart, right? If you see a lot of these people, and you hear a lot of these lectures, a lot of the lectures is the people is about who is committing bid'ah or shirk over purification of the heart. Right? What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? Kalla bal rana ala qulubihim ma kanu yaksibun. Upon the heart is run for what they used to earn, right? Rather, upon the heart is
Mhm.
run for what they used to earn. It's saying we still have a bunch of stuff on our heart still. This was past tense. Upon the heart is running for what they used to do. So we got a lot of people that's in this religion who came from the streets, was selling drugs, was prostituting, robbing, and not purifying that, because all they know is that my religion is based on my likiyat, my thobe, my overgarment, and my niqab. Do you think that's a problem? A real issue as well in the African American community too.
The main problem in the African American community is many of us have not established a relationship with the Book of Allah.
Mm,
You have to establish a relationship with the Book of Allah. to even begin to purify the heart. You have to make your belief sound, make your iman sound, your creed sound. It has to be sound.
And what was
Many of us who come from evangelistic Christian background can't get past that, because they come into Islam and they learn something that's closely related to what they already believe as a Christian.
right?
So they can't get past making their creed sound. You know what I'm saying? Allah Ta'ala guides people through the Quran, and Allah Ta'ala can misguide people through the Quran too.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
so what is the duty of the people who do have sound creed or striving to have sound creed? How can they teach when it's forced down, the average folks' mind that you can't take from a particular group because they, like I said, they are upon bid'ah. So how can they learn sound creed, right? When they are forced for years and years and years not to talk to a particular group who group is what the creed of the religion is based on. How can we fix that?
You have to make dua. One of the things that we hardly ever do anymore is we don't make dua for each other. I'm talking about not just making dua in the open, may Allah Ta'ala guide you. I'm talking about sincerely making dua. You know what I'm saying? Before you even make dua for them or even talk to them, make wudu, make two rakats, beg Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to assist you in reaching your brother and sister, being a vessel of guidance for them. You know what I'm saying? That Allah Ta'ala guide them through the efforts through the effort that you make in regards to conveying the message to them and trying to teach them. You know what I'm saying? Get up in the middle of the night, pray some Qiyam and Layl. Recite Surah Al-Fatiha 100 times. Send prayers on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam 1,000 times. Ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala sincerely. Approach Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You know what I'm saying? That you're concerned for your brother and your sister. You know what I mean? You concerned for their guidance. Because at the end of the day, not any of us have anything to claim. Nothing to claim. Not the students of knowledge, not the scholars, nothing to claim. Other than we're servants to the mankind.
Repeat that one more time.
We're servants to the mankind. The scholars are the servants to the students of knowledge. The students of knowledge are the servants to the common people. The students of knowledge is in between the common people and the scholars. And the scholars are the inheritors of the prophets. So you know what I'm saying? With approaching people, we gotta, approach people and ask them when we talking to them to have an open mind, because Islam is not tunnel vision. We don't have dividers on to where we can't see what's on our right and what's on our left, and we only seeing forward.
Right.
Islam is this deen is vast.
All right.
This deen is vast.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
True. That's so true, man. That's so true. And it just seems like, we're so far away from what we need to do to get to that, that destination of what you're saying, And as you said, man, we felt out of love of Quran. We focus on all these other books, man. It's, these marital books, these books upon shirk and these books upon bid'ah and the three aspects of this. instead of falling in love with the Quran again, with the Kalam Allah, right? And it's like, how can we go back to that stage where we love Quran that much again? And as you said, man, dua goes a long way. It's a weapon of the believers, and I think that's one step that we have to do. Like you said, just we have to fall back in love with the Quran, and take the time of reading the Quran, really, learning the Arab language so you can recite the Quran, not being content with just reading English. And now you're reading English. What's the popular must-have that everybody's buying? What's that? The Noble Quran?
Yeah, man, I can't stand that
Yeah, you're
translation,
reading a
man.
book with a lot of
I
traits of
I
with a
can't
lot of
stand that
identifying
translation.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the creation. That translation is
Alhamdulillah.
horrible, man.
Horrible.
Call a spade a spade, and they're content with that. They're content with that, just knowing that. You might as well pick up a Bible and read that then.
I remember back when I was a youngster, man, I asked one of my old timers. I asked him, I said, what is the best? And at the time, he was translating the Quran word for word. I asked him, I said, what is the best translation of Quran that I can read? His answer was the Quran that you translate for yourself. That's the best translation that you could read. At the time, he was like finishing translating it. He was translating it word for word. This was like 1990.
So he's basically saying, learn the language yourself. Is that what he's saying?
He was saying learn the Arabic language. Learn the Arabic language. Learn the all of the Nahul and Sarf. Build your vocabulary and go and translate the Quran yourself. The key the one thing that he did not mention in relation to translating is having the correct and proper creed. If you don't have the correct and proper creed, you're not gonna translate the Quran properly.
Right.
You're not gonna translate it properly because if you don't have the correct creed and you translate word for word, you're gonna translate everything literally. You're gonna translate what shouldn't be translated, and you're gonna translate what should be translated. For example, what the Arabic that is related to Allah, talking about Allah, they're gonna translate that literally. The Quran, the Quran is talking about the mankind. They're gonna translate that literally. When the reader read that translation, they're not gonna be able to distinguish what is befitting to Allah and what is talking about the creation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't necessarily that an individual that's translating, doing that, he may be one that don't believe that Allah Ta'ala is sitting in a body and in a place or direction or has limits. He may not be an individual that believes that. So in essence, that individual has the proper belief, you know what I'm saying, and has tough weed. However, he translating in a manner and using translated in a manner that's not befitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know what I'm saying? So not just knowing the Arabic language and learning knowing the ways of speaking and phrases, you know what I'm saying,
it's not gonna get the job done.
It's not gonna get the job done. Because when he translated word for word, and then that translation, he give that translation to a new shahada, that come from being a Catholic or come from being a Baptist or Lutheran or Episcopalian or a Protestant or Seventh-day Adventist, they, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at it like, man, I already believe this. You know what I'm saying? Look how crafty Elijah Muhammad was in the first early development of the NOI. You know what I'm saying? He only changed the objective and imagery of worship from the people that was Christian to them joining the NOI. He just changed the objective of worship. Instead of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude on the cross, he gave them a white, brown-haired, brown-eyed dude that looked like an Arab or Pakistani, and said the erroneous thing that he was teaching about in point 12. I'm gonna just say point 12 because that's in the back of the final call. It was in the back of the Muhammad Speaks as well. Muhammad Speaks, Malcolm X had started that. It was in the back of that. You know what I'm saying? Then you have people that got a doctor's degree at Michigan State University, getting, you know what I'm saying, got their doctor's degree signed off by armchair scholar, and his reason for signing off for it said because his thesis was academically correct, but his thesis was talking about point 12. Using evidence and proof from Imam Barbahari, Ibn al-Qayyim, Ibn Taymiyyah, Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, to explain point 12 in the back of the Final Call newspaper. This is what we have. This is what we have. This is what we have to contend, have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? This is what we have to deal with. Why, you know what I'm saying? Do anyone give any thought why the NOI has always been invited to Umrah and Hajj in Mecca? They invited Elijah Muhammad there in 1959.
Right.
In 1959, they invited him there. Donate $18 million to the NOI.
To misguide us. Gave them $18 million to misguide us.
$18 million to continue the misguidance that has been orchestrated since the turn of the 19th century. To keep I'm gonna say the indigenous Negro, to keep y'all asleep. At the same time, what was going what was happening in the Muslim world? The dismantling of the Uthmani Caliphate. They dismantling all of the old dynasties and empires, and the rest of the world misguiding them with miseducation of the indigenous Negro. Before that, the Ahmadiyya movement, people from the Ahmadiyya movement had been here selling silks and clothes and all of this stuff since the 1840. Why do you think the medium, the large, and the extra large thobes at Islamic place fit African Americans just right? They've been doing business with our people since they came out of slavery.
Yeah, Lord protect us from this, man.
I mean,
As you said, man, we ain't gonna, hold them up too much. We got a big topic ahead of us tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. I may be on, I may be not. But what's that, man? I really appreciate you, man. Just talking briefly with me, man. I know we said we're gonna keep it 30 minutes, so we're gonna keep it 30 minutes. Anything you would like to say to close out?
may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us all, man.
I mean,
May Allah ta'ala help us. May Allah ta'ala keep all of us guided and guide all of us who are not properly guided. Allahumma ameen.
I mean, end off with a dua for us, inshallah ta'ala.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق وقاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق والحق وهذه إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره مقداره العظيم. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة في الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم آمين. الفاتحة. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Inshallah ta'ala, everybody tune in tomorrow. We'll tell you the time on the post. Inshallah ta'ala, Ustad, he will be there. The big dog Abdul Kabir, he'll be there. Jomo, inshallah, will be there. All the other brothers who set their goal out to, to try to teach the dawah the best as we can. So inshallah ta'ala, tune in tomorrow for us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.